Hello, my name is Willoughby, and what I'd like to try to bring forth here is the people's priority, where people's priority is. And we can start off with red light cameras. I played a small role, but I spent with signage and stuff and helping to get the red light cameras out. They were a real big scam. Actually, the cameras could have been good if they were used properly. But when we started learning that they were owned by independent companies in different states and the way they were set up, they were a scam, a 100% scam. And so a lot of people were really fighting it. When I put my signs up, I was getting 1,500 hits a week on my website and almost 30 phone calls a day. And I got one from a police officer. His wife got one. And I was telling my signs I put up, said you didn't have to pay them. Don't pay red light. And you didn't have to, because our tax collector here, Jim Wright, apparently he was a pretty good man, because he said his job was collecting taxes, not enforcing street violations. And he's right. He was right, too. So he didn't enforce it. You could get your tags, but people didn't know it. A lot of people got ripped off. But here's the thing. The mayor and council knew it. So I wanted the red light cameras out, the way they were, but I didn't want Governor Abbott to take them out. I wanted our mayor and council to take them out, because they're the cancer that put it in there. And if they don't have no more moral values right for us, how can you trust them with other things? But people don't. All they wanted was the cameras out. They didn't care about council and mayor, what they were doing, so they just go and do other wicked things that you don't know what's going on. So anyway, but it's to go to the main point here is that people can do anything when they want to, and you get enough people to do it. And this was biting them in the butt. I had 3 calls from the John Peter Smith Hospital area where they were getting tickets, and like I said, I got 30 phone calls a day over this. So the red light cameras were biting people, and they were involved. But now, once that was out, they didn't care about anything else. They didn't care when Maddie Parker got in, she took away free speech. That didn't mean anything. This did, but that didn't. I'll give you another sample where people can do anything. In the 1920s to 1920 to around 1933, the sale of alcohol was restricted in the states. A large group of religious people fought to have alcohol illegal. It was an evil thing, and they got it out. That's the power of a large group of people can do anything. I'm saying we write the rules actually when we get together, and we're together on this. So there was enough religious people that thought that was bad enough to get it out of our states, not to sell alcohol. But I'm afraid there was more alcoholics that wanted it back in, and it led to a lot of problems, but there was enough alcoholics and enough points, they put it back around 1933. Get it back. So there again, 2 large groups of people, different things, but getting it done. They can get it done, anything. Right now, our number one thing that we need to do is, if you get enough people to do it, do you think the people's public presentation at City Council on the agenda there should be at the bottom of the agenda? Now, you probably don't use it, and you don't care, it doesn't affect you, but this is where I'm asking you to, these other issues were all emotions, feelings, and stuff like that. I want to teach in voter education to work off your brain. Use your brain, not your emotions. Think by your brain. You got a brain, use it. And if it's right, no matter how whether you use it, it has an effect on you. This can have an effect on you, whether you know it or not, down the road. So I'm just going to ask you where your priorities are. You have enough priorities that you think we should have the public presentation, which we just now got back on the council agenda after 2 years being off of there. Maddie Parker took us off there. We're back on there, but we're at the bottom of the agenda. School board, we're at the top of the agenda. Commissioner's Court, the people are at the top. All the cities around us, we're at the top. Fort Worth, free speech, where we get to speak and that, we're at the bottom. And there's a reason why. When you have a bad mayor, she wants you at the bottom, because if you're at the top, you expose the things she does. And if things get exposed that she does, people might get more involved. And if they get more involved, and we get up to a higher voting number, because where we're at right now, it should be considered critical, is what it should be. But anyway, So anyway, they got to what they want right now downtown. Very few people voting. The ones that enough that they have that will support them regardless. And that, so anyway, I want to see local voter education get back in school and get our priorities straight. Now, if you believe alcohol and red light cameras are more important than our right to speak and be heard and be treated with respect downtown, then that's where my priority is a little different. I have priorities thinking that we should be on top like everybody else because we're just as good as any other city. But anyway, I'm hoping that this will show that we can do anything we want to do, and it requires actions, not words. And so anyway, that, and I hope that some people get on board and help us get local voter education in schools to learn to use their brain and not their emotions. I just want to find out where your priorities are these days. I really don't know where people's priorities are anymore. Back in my days, the First Amendment, free speech, would have been hands down. Matter of fact, in my day, back in the 70s, Mayor Parker could have never, ever done what she'd done to the city and is doing to the city right now. So that's what this is about, try to get more people involved. Help us what we need, the real answer to it, it's a long-term fix, is to get local voter education in our schools. That would be the thing. And if you want to learn more about local voter education, what I mean by that, you can watch any of the school boards. I speak at every school board meeting. There's one Tuesday night on the 19th. And I'm laying out all the things that I believe local voter education should teach kids in school. Also, I'm open for people to counter what I say, disagree or agree. But at the end of the day, we want to get the best thing in the schools, and we got to start teaching kids in school because we're at 96% did not vote in the May 2nd election. And what I'm going to open up with at the school board, as long as I'm going to be opening it up, saying that I wished I'm down here complaining about 49% not voting in our local election. But that's not the case. I'm down here complaining because 96% did not vote in their local election, only 4%. So I guess my question is, where does it become critical? To me, I feel we're on life support. We're past critical. And I believe one of the major issues to change this, one of the things that we can do to change it, is get local voter education in schools at an early age, teaching kids it's a responsibility to take care of their city, not a privilege. Also teach them that they are responsible, whether they like it or not. Everybody that lives in Fort Worth, there's no law that makes them do their civic duty, but everybody is responsible because their tax money goes down there, making this a $1.2 billion business. And right now, it's in the hands of ignorant and dishonest people. And I believe the way to change that is going to require voter education, because the generation we have right now is pretty brain dead when it's 96% not voting.